Why is there a cord just like fucking me up right now? Mate, it's annoying. But I'm saying that. See, actually, in your point of view, right? So what I've been doing on the like face-to-face in-person ones, just sort of kick things off. We've been doing like the little introduction towards the camera. Over the Zoom ones though, hasn't been happening just because it just kind of flows nicer. Like when you're doing the Zoom call, just like start it from there. Mm-hmm. Is it better off to just start the conversation or to actually do an intro?
I don't mind.
I'm asking from a marketing standpoint here, Kimmy. Jesus Christ. Good introduction of yourself there. I don't know.
Ta-da!
The answer, I don't know. From a marketing standpoint, from someone who doesn't even listen to the podcast, is it better to do an intro or to not?
Intro.
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome back to Fit Focus Media. Shall we put the focus on fitness? Now, today we are joined by Kimmy Luck. Who is Kimmy Luck, though, you might ask? Well, she's a person, just like you and me. But, Kimmy, let you do the honors and give a little bit more of an explanation for the viewers at home on who you are.
I'm Kim. I have done... Oh, hang on, let me restart.
This is a podcast. There are no restarts. Jesus Christ, girl.
It's my first time. I'm Kim. I work for Fit Focus Media as the marketing / social media marketing manager.
Jeez, doesn't even know our own role yet.
You haven't told me.
I have actually multiple times. You're even listed on the actual site as social media manager.
Oh yeah.
Even in emails, you're listed as social media manager.
All
Jesus, girl. Oh, that's what you said you were after. That's what I gave you graciously.
Brilliant. Well, I've done a double degree at uni for marketing and psychology at QUT. I've also been a past competitor at ICN Season B last year. So fitness is very much in my blood. Love it. And being able to combine the two, yeah, it's really good. Really something I'm interested in.
So for everyone who has been on Instagram recently saying, good job, bro. Good job, dude. Man, yeah. You're actually talking to Kimmy.
It's good job, chick.
So yeah, it is kind of, I guess, cool just to have someone else on board. Kimmy's been doing a fantastic job over the past month and a bit now, actually, going well over and above and really sort of killing that social game, getting involved with the community. Really, you are a genuinely awesome person and great to talk to. So it's been cool on my part, just sort of seeing you come in and take over and do your thing. The interactions that you have with people have been really genuine and really positive. So
yeah, sorry guys, didn't mean to like trick you.
I know, right? It has been kind of funny because every time I do still see the notifications coming through, the messages coming through, and every time I'm just like, she's gonna love this. But how have you found it so far? Coming in, doing the social media aspect. What has there been any highs, any lows? What's it been like from your point of view? Yeah,
I've loved it. I guess kind of like working for more of a fitness brand is something that I'm very interested in, especially because I have been into fitness for a while now. So being able to use a degree while implementing and doing something I love is great. Can honestly say there's not been any lows. All highs. Which is great.
Hey, just a solid plane of neutral, which is, it's good. It's good. It means we can at least shoot up from there. So hopefully we'll get a couple peaks in there coming soon. But how did you actually get into the fitness scene itself?
Oh, that's a bit of a story. So I played a lot of sports when I was in school. Like I played netball before I was even allowed to. So they have I can't even remember what it's called, but little kid netball. And you have to be like, I think, maybe 6 or 8, depending on.
Is that like the juniors of the juniors?
Yeah, like you're tiny.
I mean, I did Oz Kick. So that was like the football version of that back in Victoria.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like a similar sort of program.
Yeah, so my auntie was really into it, and she would go and, I guess, umpire. And while she was doing that, I would just go off and play netball. So I was in before I could, just as I was walking, I was essentially playing, and I grew up playing netball. But then you get to grade 12 and you kind of become a little bit too cool for it and you focus on your studies. And so I dropped it. Wasn't really into anything. Slowly got into the gym, I was doing classes. Wouldn't go near the actual gym floor, just doing classes only. Then again, I stopped it. I think I joined and quit the gym at least 8 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what was it about the actual gym floor itself that was sort of, pulling you away from it to start
I didn't know anything. Yep. I was so young. I started at the YMCA, so it was a bit of a mixture of people. I just had no idea what I was doing. I was either going on the treadmill or doing, is it Les Mis? Like,
the Les Mis classes.
Yeah, classes, yeah, with the instructor and everything. And even then I was like super unfit and weak. It was only until like a breakup that I really like threw myself.
I was going to say,
classes.
the story for so many people probably listening to this one, isn't that how it normally starts?
Yeah.
Awesome. And so that's what got you into the actual weights floor itself, or was that just getting back into the classes?
That was actually re-signing up and doing the classes. And then there was a PT at the gym. Like I was like, oh, like one of my best mates from school, she was hit the gym floor and stuff, was learning about it. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And she was trying to convince me on the floor, and I was trying to convince her to come to the classes. And we kind of met in the middle. I signed up to a PT. She was amazing, got me into like form and learning and everything like that. And I didn't necessarily get into it properly until I had done a bit with her and I felt confident on the gym floor. And then I started back up with sports. So I was doing like weights and then sports. And then it was only until I saw the Season B show, ICN Season B in October 2020 on Instagram, that I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then me and my best friend was just like, oh, imagine doing that. And then I reached out to my current coach now, who's all online. And then, we did a trial and I like threw myself into it. So it's probably not recommended for competitors to not really have a proper background, but I had already gone on this little weight loss journey and I was so determined. Like once I set myself on a goal, there is no backing out. Like I'm stubborn.
all in or nothing, pretty much. Just go gun for her.
Yeah.
So what was it like for you doing getting into the gym, doing all that sort of stuff while also doing sports training? Because just for people who might not be aware, Kimmy is actually completely crazy when it comes to training. Like even today we had to do a little bit of a filming session for our 1,000 follower giveaway. If that hasn't been done by the time of this release, go get involved with that. Pretty cool products.
It's gonna be awesome.
It was cool to actually get a session in with you and get that filmed as well.
Yeah.
But you'd already trained this morning.
Yeah.
Like legs before doing this.
Yeah.
And then you played football yesterday.
Yeah.
And then you'd already done, what was it? How many sessions this week? How many upper sessions? Like it was
this was, including today, was my 5th upper body session for the week.
Just upper.
Yeah, and then I did 2 lower and then 2 footy training and then a footy game. Yeah.
So just to give a bit of perspective, this was my 3rd session today, and I was also filming it, so it was a bit of a half-baked one. You're mental.
Yeah, I'm exhausted, but it's good. I like to move. I don't really sit still often. Even when I'm working, I'm on the treadmill, like working.
Nice.
Like
I'm getting there. Like we've got the sit down, stand up desk, and the next thing is to get the treadmill underneath. I think that'll really sort of kick things into gear. Especially if you were ever trying to do a prep, just be like doing a bit of edit while
literally, I'd be at uni and doing Zoom classes, and I'd be in a class, and people would message me going, "Can you turn your camera off?" Because my head's like this because I'm in a uni class. And they're like, "Dude, chill. Like, take a minute." And I'm like, "No, I have 15,000 steps to do today, and I've got uni all day."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you find, like, with the recovery side of things, like doing such a massive exercise load? Like,
magnesium tablets.
Really? So that's the key, is it?
Oh my god, you don't notice it until you stop taking them.
Right.
And they're brilliant.
So I normally have like Xenamaze before going to bed, but I actually ran out of just the sole magnesium, so maybe I need to go back and actually no. What am I talking about? I don't even train hard these days. It's a couple sessions here and there just to maintain the
business to run.
Exactly, and as long as I keep my biceps, then that's all people give a shit about, anyways. Outside of that, I don't even look like I lift. So as long as they stay intact, we're good, and they can recover pretty quickly. So I think we're good.
Oh, and fade out. I used fade out a lot when I was prepping. I don't anymore, but when you're it's like kind of puts you to sleep, essentially. Yeah. You can buy it at supplement stores. I bought mine from Power Sups at the time. Right. Yeah, but they're like careful.
I was just say, to be fair, I normally use like melatonin, just ordered that online, and then like they're pretty strong ones, so I just use like half a tablet of it, and that'll knock me out.
Oh, I'm pretty good now, but when I was like depleted, it's really hard to go to sleep.
Yeah, I've heard that it gets insanely hard, because I mean, like again, I've still never been contest lean before. Like I've tried getting lean before, but I think even like recently, when I went like on that little bit of a diet, I actually got leaner then than when I was trying to get lean, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
So I think like again, like coming through doing it as a like team when I first got into it. And I got into those like really bad habits of sort of crash dieting and just tracking everything so meticulously that it just became an issue, and I was having a lot of problems in the background to where it actually affected my ability to lose weight because I was so stressed about the things going on. Then it was causing like binge eating and all this sort of stuff that when I actually did it this time around, I was leaning out incredibly quickly compared to that. And it was a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, but also I guess reassuring for the future to be like, hey, it's not that big of a deal. You can actually do it, at least, you know, to a good degree until you start getting into, you know, like crazy lean territory.
Yeah, definitely.
For yourself, though, in the competitive scene, how did you find that phase of actually doing your first prep?
Hey, how's it going? Hope you're enjoying this episode so far. Just wanted to take a second and ask if you could please leave a review on this podcast. And if you hear something you think could help someone else, share it with a friend. Word of mouth is really the best way to help these things grow. So please, thank you, and enjoy the rest of the episode.
It was good. I loved the busyness of it. I loved knowing that every single day I was ticking boxes and I was achieving something, and every single day I was working towards something. That to me is really rewarding. Like, I'm a little bit of a, some say hustler, some say like overworker. Depends how you want to view it.
She does work very hard. I'll give her that.
Thank you.
Very determined and very passionate about what she does.
I don't, no chill. But it was good. I loved it. The people around me didn't love it, but I loved it because I may have gotten a little moody.
Just a little touch, yeah.
Just a little hangry.
just don't mess with Kimmy's food.
Oh,
If you
no.
try to take 1 grain of rice, this little woman is coming for you with the wrath of bloody Zeus. Just
Oh my god, the amount of chippy slaps from my plate.
Wait, it's wonder you even eat? Oh, it's just like I was gonna say wonder you even chippies, but you just mean like just the slap itself.
No, no, in prep you don't get to have chips. It's Bud Light.
I was gonna say like, you could get, I guess, like a little bit of a just like the prep mode where it's like, say, even when I have just sweet potato, I literally just have like just normal sweet potato. I was cut into like little cubes, and I call that my chips.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess like
It depends on
it's like
what
your
you're doing.
version,
Yeah.
your version of what it actually is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in prep, sweet potato was like bit high carb for me because, you know, smaller, lower calories than someone who's got more muscle mass.
Yeah, so it's like at the moment, carbs are like my hardest thing to actually hit. I keep going over on protein, and then I'm way under on carbs because everything that I eat that has like carbs in it normally also has a shitload of protein at the same time.
Yeah.
And I find it really hard to just eat straight carbs. So
Yeah, well, I noticed like when I was in a bulk, I felt like I almost had to go vegetarian because like your carbs are so high to your protein, and most carbs have protein in it as well.
So what was, I guess, like in, say, that prep, like, did you have any of those, like, I guess, food hacks or diet hacks that people sort of did? Because I know you are very active in the social media game.
Yeah.
You love that side of things. And I always see you posting, like, you know, your day in the life eatings and all this sort of stuff. Were there any really good tips, tricks, all that kind of jazz that you found helpful going into it?
Yeah. So I got nicknamed the volume queen when I was prepping because I like to eat.
And you have, and we were talking about this before, you haven't had protein ice cream before. That's like one of the best high volume hacks you can ever have.
I had to be really careful. So my body doesn't actually react very well when losing weight. So any alcohol, sugars, or xanthan gum or anything like that I had to cut.
Yep.
So I couldn't necessarily have your diet, necessarily foods. Yeah. So like people have like the Coles sugar-free chocolates.
Yep.
I couldn't have that. Or like the low calorie syrups, or like your 0 calorie maple syrup.
Yep.
Couldn't have it.
Man, even now, like on higher calories, I still absolutely gun ho with the sugar-free syrup. That is like my go-to.
Oh, I do now that I can, but no, before I couldn't.
Right. So just like your body just didn't how did that actually affect you? Like, what was, I guess, the consequence if you did have that?
Bloating,
yeah.
which means high weight, which means like for check-in and whatnot.
I don't know. I mean, like, because realistically, wouldn't it, I guess, until you're getting right out into like where you had to start like drying out and stuff, like, wouldn't it not matter too much just because it is only bloating? Like, it's not actually affecting the weight itself, or like the body fat loss, because you are still like in a calorie deficit. So I can see like how it might throw the numbers off a little bit, but wouldn't there be a way to kind of like balance that out?
Yes and no, because like it's not only scale weight but measurements as well, and photos. So if you're bloated, your scale weight's gone up, your measurements have gone up, and your photos, you don't look as lean.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess like just from my point of view, it's kind of like that's kind of in a sense, like the point or the reason that I sort of had those foods is to make me feel more like, because it fills your stomach up more, to make you feel like you've eaten more, so that way you're not as hungry. So it's like, sure, it's going to affect the weight a little bit. Sure, it's going to affect the measurements a little bit, the photos a little bit, but it's not actually, I guess, impacting on the fat loss itself.
Yeah, I guess I also did suffer with like abdominal cramping and stuff with.
Right. Okay. Now that makes a lot more sense. Okay. That one makes a lot more sense.
Like there was just normal bloating, but then there did come the other side of it. And when you're trying to drop weight each week to try and reach those goals, because like I said, I did come from like a weight loss. Like I hadn't bulked, I hadn't anything before my prep. So when I started my prep, I still had I wasn't in like the best position. My coach did try to make me wait, but like I said, when I've got my sights set on something, I was going to do it. Yeah. So I pushed and I wanted to compete, and I'm glad I did it. But yeah, there was a long, like I had to push a lot harder than probably most competitors because I wasn't lean necessarily before I started my prep.
Yeah, and again, like, I can understand exactly where you're coming from with it because I've heard a lot of coaches and a lot of people like say similar things. I was just curious from my point of view, and I can see, probably the main thing is just it would make it your coach's job a hell of a lot harder because they can't accurately see what's actually going on. So trying to adjust things when you don't know what's happening would be an absolute bloody nightmare.
100%. And when you're working so hard and like ticking all those boxes every single day, and you get to your check-in and you feel like everything's the same. Even if it is bloating, it is still like, because you're so depleted as well. That mental state of it is really hard. So it's easier just to be like, cut it out and reduce the bloating. Because also you swell. Like, well, I don't know about other people, but I swell when I bloat. It's not just my stomach, it's like everywhere. Right. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. I guess I've only had experience with just bloating in the stomach, and then you feel like crap for a little while after that. When it comes to, I guess, the social media aspect of things, how did you get into that?
Okay, so with mine, I watched my coach's social media for a while on my main account, and her social media helped so much, like, because it'd be other people tagging her in their journey. So her stories, I just used to like binge watch every day, like, and see all these other girls just kicking goals and just killing it. And I was like, oh my God, I want to be one of them. And I signed up with her, and it was just as the COVID lockdown got released, and it was just as gyms opened, she emailed me going, hey, I have a spot available. And oh my God, I flipped. I went nuts.
I was going to say, quick little shout out for the coach.
Yes, as by Lana. She's amazing.
I've heard some amazing things about you. Kimmy absolutely raves.
Oh, she's incredible. Yeah, amazing. But yeah, she like opened up a spot for me, loved it, did the 6 weeks. I was static. Like I was like, nutcase. I was like jumping around the living room like, yeah, perfect timing, like I'm gonna get all these results. And the 6 weeks are amazing, but at that time, because of COVID, like job and everything, it was a bit hard to keep the program due to money, and then it was at the end of the year with my friend that we saw the competitors, and I reached out to her with my best friend, and we joined coaching again, and we did like a mini prep and then got into it properly, and by the time I had better income, so I could actually afford it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And so with like social media itself, like
I
was like, we just went completely from social media into competing again.
I know, sorry.
You spoke about your coach for 2 seconds and you just got absolutely sidetracked. Social media, Kimmy.
Well, that's what I was saying, sorry. So I saw all these people like tagging her and shit, and I was like, okay, so once I started with her properly, I created an account to keep myself accountable, and I thought, I didn't care if anybody followed or not. I was just going to post and just make sure I was hitting my goals. And then my coach could see, like, yes, I've hit my steps today. Here's my macros planned out, all that kind of stuff. And then I had one of my little sister's friends actually message me and was like, oh my God, thank you so much. You doing like posting and stuff has really helped me. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I can just help one person, that's so nice. Yeah. And so that kind of like boosted me along, because I thought if I can just help one person, and then it just, grew, and I low-key got addicted.
Yeah, it's a crazy feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it is one of those things where you don't really expect anyone to see it whatsoever.
No.
When someone actually takes the time to reach out and say it to you, like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's like what?
And then like I remember I had never really seen anyone go through a prep before. I'll post it on the socials. Like I'm sure plenty of people do, but I personally hadn't. So I was like, I'm going to take everyone with me. Like I'm going to show everyone exactly what it takes to be a competitor, as I learn myself. Because again, I was so new, and I didn't know anything about bodybuilding until I was doing it, essentially.
And how have you found, like, I guess the carryover from your actual studies into, doing social media, running social media? Like, what are the, I guess, the little tips, tricks, things that you've learned from studying that have, helped in that sense?
Yeah, so there's a few little things, I guess, like building a brand. So brands are not necessarily for companies, they can be for people, and creating a personality around that, being consistent, and kind of like showing people who you are. Like even brands need a personality and a face behind them. So I guess it's being genuine as well, being consistent, showing people who you are, creating that brand for yourself necessarily. And it's kind of nice because I didn't have anything to sell. So I was just kind of like just being myself.
Real.
Yeah. Because I don't do PT. I don't have anything to sell on my Instagram or anything like that. So it is just kind of more sharing information and taking people through a journey with me as well.
I think that still carries over really well though to what we've actually been doing a lot recently, which is even when it comes to coaches and PTs, the number one thing really is that personality aspect, because at the end of the day, anyone can do the study, anyone can learn the information, but what really sort of brings people in and makes them stick around is the way that you conduct yourself, the way that you interact with them, the way that you make them feel. Like personality is a massive thing, and when you look at social media, really it's just an opportunity to actually showcase that at a wider scale and at a higher volume as well.
100%.
So I think it's a massive importance, not only for a personal, but also for a business, be that coaching or even a brand itself. Like people like to feel like they're joining something or they're part of a community or that there's people that they can relate to. Yeah,
because like it's a bit hard as well because people do get a bit nervous on social media for judgment because obviously you have trolls out there, but the people...
100%. Hey, hey, we were doing for the giveaway the other day when I was at the gym with Antonio, and we were doing a bit of a taste test. We're finishing up the session. I'm like, I put up the story of you doing the taste test, saying it was really good. Should probably put something up to, just like talk about how the effects are, because it tasted good and it worked really well. I was like, I don't know, it seems like a bit of a jackass move to, like, can you film me while I'm doing a set of something? It's like, no, like you got to do it. It's part of it. Yeah. Like you're part of this now, and I'm like, far out. I don't know how I feel about that. It's an odd one to do, but I guess at the end of the day, if you are working in a field that does involve a massive online presence, it's just part of the routine is getting comfortable with the fact that is an element of your job, really.
100%. And even if you're not in a field that doesn't necessarily need an online presence, it's still good to have one, because I feel like even traditional marketing techniques are being phased out as so many people are using social media now, especially since COVID, where like everybody was on socials, and that is still carrying over and it's still growing. So.
I think you're 100% right there. And even outside of, again, the social game, this is an area that I think is kind of funny, because I personally had a lot of issues with speaking, with talking to people, with speaking in public especially. Was always terrified of it, not very good at it. And the funny thing is now I actually have people who, like, literally they'll talk to me and they're like, man, I'm like nervous to talk to you because of how well you articulate yourself. Like, it makes me feel nervous to get into a conversation in, say, a podcast setting. I'm like, man, I'm literally just chatting shit. It's a bit of fun, really. But the way that skill kind of developed was actually by when I first started getting into this. For every single proposal that would get sent out, for everything that was to do with the client in any sense, there would be a video explanation that would go along with that. So I was just forcing myself to get behind a camera, talk to it, get comfortable with doing that with there being no one there, because it is awkward as all hell to start with. It is so weird, and the only way to do it is just practice and repetition. And I always hated the sound of my own voice as well.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people do. And the only way that I got comfortable with that was doing it and then editing it and forcing myself to do it. And you work out very quickly when you have to edit your own voice, just how many times you actually say, the.
Yeah, 100%. I was doing a day in my life the other day and I didn't edit it. I was just like doing it straight over on Instagram, just doing and I think I re-recorded it like 20 times. My sister was in the other room going, can you shut up? Like, stop re-recording. And I was like, I just keep going, and yeah.
It's crazy. Like, we don't even realize that it's happening. And then the good thing is, once you do get into a place where you are actually, I guess, working through it, and when you have to remove that, like, that many times that it like drives you insane, you'll pretty quickly start actually just removing it from your vocabulary and just not doing it altogether. But where that actually has a massive carryover is in real life conversations and in like when you're just talking to a friend or a new person or in a meeting or something like that, the ability just to know that, okay, I don't do those things anymore, you sound a lot more confident and you feel a lot more confident with what you're actually saying.
Yeah.
And for me, at least, that all stemmed from feeling awkward as shit, talking to a camera and then having to edit it and thinking, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know anybody who saw me through prep, I just like would kind of rant to my cameras, like to my Instagram.
Nice. Can relate. 100%.
Yep.
How about the social media game itself, like the social media landmark? Where, like, what is your outlook on that at the moment? Like, how have things sort of recently changed? Where do you think things are going in terms of social media for the future, platform-wise, content-wise? What are your, I guess, like thoughts and views on it?
Yeah, well, I definitely think social media is growing. There are some platforms that are growing faster and some are being left behind. Like TikTok is your massive one.
We're starting. Kimmy has been whittling away at me to be like, hey, you need to be on TikTok. I don't want to be on TikTok. Got to be on TikTok.
Yep.
And don't worry, now I'm also one of those people that's addicted to TikTok. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Anytime.
But
it's good.
I'm not gonna lie. You know, we can push the same thing on TikTok and it'll do 3 times the amount of organic reach.
Yeah, well, the algorithm's really good like that. Like, not gonna lie, if there's someone that I really like on TikTok and I want to see more of them, I don't actually follow them, because as soon as I feel like you follow someone, they kind of get put into your For You page, like, you know how you have your 2 sections, and because I like seeing new stuff as well, like, I find that they kind of disappear. So the algorithm is constantly pushing new like accounts. Constantly, accounts you don't follow, but it's good that they have a section for the accounts that you follow. So if you're not into all the new stuff and you just like what you like, you're constant. So it's got the 2 sides.
Just from that, it was a little bit confusing the way you said that. So you said that you normally don't follow them?
I do. Like, if I generally really love them, I'll follow them. But if I kind of like their content and I want to see a little bit more before I follow, sometimes I don't until I've seen it a few times.
Right, so you just wait. So you'll engage with it and then just wait for the algorithm to start kicking it back at you.
Yeah,
because that does happen a fair bit. I know that as soon as it's like I'm a little bit cautious sometimes. Actually, I am cautious on TikTok about what I actually like, because I'm like, as soon as I double tap this thing, it's gonna start serving a hell of a lot more of it to me.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of times where I'm just like, I like it, but no, because I almost kind of like as a follow in a sense, because it just is like, oh, you like this? I'm just gonna keep
on TikTok, I only like things if I want to save them, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like, which is really cool. But I'm also really careful what I search on social media platforms, because as soon as you search something, you'll get blasted.
100%. It's tracking everything you do, which is crazy, but it's the world we live in at this point.
Yeah.
Do you find that there's much carryover between TikTok and other platforms like Instagram? Like, do you feel like, say if you're on TikTok and you see someone, you do like their content, are you more likely to go to their page and follow their page, or are you more likely to go to their page and then click the Instagram icon, go to their Instagram, check that out, and then follow on Instagram?
If I like them enough, I'll follow them on TikTok and then click on their Instagram and see what their Instagram like, because depending on the creator, I find TikTok to be a lot more kind of real, a lot more of an insight of who they are, where sometimes, depending on the creator, their Instagram is a lot more for show. So if their Instagram is like their TikTok and I can see exactly who they are and their personality and all that kind of stuff, I'll likely follow their Instagram. But if it is just photos of them, like, just dressed up or constantly over edited photos, I'll probably be like, nah, I'm enjoying the more real everyday kind of version on TikTok.
Yeah, and again, but I think that's probably the reason that I actually do the check is, for me, it's because if I go to their Instagram, I don't know, I feel like just because it is a more sort of well-established platform or something that's been around for longer, when you go there, it almost gives a little bit more of a real sense as to what they're trying to portray in a sense. So it's if I go to their Instagram and they look like a genuine person or someone who's putting out good information, then I'll give them a follow on Instagram. But if I go to their Instagram and they look like they're just a twat that's absolutely full of themselves, and I'm like, well, then why would I want to follow you here and why would I want to follow you here? So it's I don't know, I kind of use it as a vetting system, because again, I don't know, me personally, I'm paranoid of the amount of influence that TikTok has. So I'm I am not going to just give you that follow. I'm not just going to give you that engagement. I'm doing double vetting on that platform just to be cautious. I know I'm probably the only person in the world that does that, but I don't know, I'm still careful with TikTok.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm not that picky, but I find if they're genuinely a good person or they're entertaining, I'll give them a follow.
So what are the sort of types of content that you find are really good on TikTok? Like, what is doing really well at the moment, especially in that sort of fitness field?
Yeah, education, honestly. Anything that can kind of educate your viewer, I feel like does really well. So, like, I enjoy, like, I guess your workouts. I kind of enjoy the people that call other people out for their BS, and, like, shed light on what's real. Because I feel like in the fitness industry, there are still people trying to, like, take advantage of, like...
I mean, that's pretty much all of, like, majority of, like, my YouTube subscription list at this point. So again, I maybe I'm a little old school. I still like longer format content, so I still watch YouTube versus TikTok.
Yeah, I'm not
so it
YouTube.
seems like it seems like it's really just like a more condensed version of that. Like, because I know there's a lot of guys that I watch on YouTube who are also doing well on TikTok, and they literally just take like a 30 minute video and they'll do like a 20-second reel.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, I think maybe I'm just still in that odd category where I still like the long format, where majority of people are just like, cool, serve me the information and let me get to the next one.
I'm very much like that. I'm like, get straight to the point. I don't want to have to watch like 10 minutes or something before I find out my information.
I like the tease. Hey, wait. When Derek, More Place, More Dates is just like, you know, just drawing it out, give me so much information that wasn't even related whatsoever. I love it because it makes me feel like I'm learning something when really I'm absorbing absolutely nothing.
Yeah. See, I feel like you'd almost be like a movie person as well in that case, but I'm more of a TV show person.
I hate TV shows and I'm much more a movie person.
No, I can't sit there long enough to watch a movie, but I can sit there for like 8 hours watching a TV show.
No, I can't do seasons because again, I know that it's actually going to be 8 hours. I know it's a trap. It 100% is.
I get bored though.
Lately though, I'm not going to lie, I can't do movies. If I go to the cinema, sure, I love it. It's an experience, but I will not just sit here and watch a movie. I get so bored. And that's where I go to YouTube. But I'm honestly at a point where I think I've watched 99.99% of YouTube, and there is nothing the algorithm can even serve me at this point that actually piques my interest. Hence why I've started watching TikTok.
I feel like you can learn so much more on TikTok.
I call
in the 30
bull.
minutes that you watch YouTube.
I call bull. Okay,
I found so many hacks on TikTok.
Mate, I went in with a fresh account, right? Absolutely nothing. All I do is I engage with fitness content. I like fitness content. I see anything else, I literally scroll past it so it does not, to try and not serve it to me. And all I get is, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm getting on TikTok, where it's just females doing things that should not really be done on a social media platform meant for children.
Well, who said TikTok was for children? And I've
I've
heard this
general demographic.
I've actually heard this from new TikTok accounts that they do get a lot of that stuff. But I've had TikTok for a while now when it kind of first came out, and I don't get any of that.
It's just like
none of that.
Mate,
you just gotta build it up.
It literally just like serves it. It's just like why do I want to keep seeing this exact same dance or this exact same fucking knock something with thing? Yeah. I'm not even allowed to talk about that stuff on YouTube. I don't think the stuff that goes live on TikTok. It's I don't know. It's an odd platform.
Yeah. I think it takes time to learn about what you're interested in. Like it'll keep pushing things, like testing the waters. Like, do you like this? Do you not like this? Kind of thing.
When it comes to creating content for TikTok, how do you go about that?
To be honest, I don't actually post much of my own stuff on TikTok. I use Instagram and Instagram Reels. But the shorter, the sharper, the more straight to the point, the better, unless it is an entertaining purpose kind of situation.
So again, this is from someone who is actually doing our socials and our media at the moment. Why is that? Why do you not use TikTok?
For me personally, I just can't keep up. Like, I don't have enough time to post my own stuff for like my personal account because you do need to post a lot.
Then even when it comes to creating just, you know, like say content in general, like what is the process for that? How do you go about doing that?
Like for
yourself, for
myself,
us, for anyone really.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of finding out what's trending at the moment as well. Like staying on top of your trends, staying on top of your audio trends as well, and getting in on it. Like having fun with it, because trends will come and go super fast, and you just got to make sure you're on it because people find that entertaining. And when you can even add your own personal little twist to it and kind of stand out from the crowd, like still join in but stand out at the same time is really the element. And series as well, creating a series or on TikTok or Instagram or anything that people can kind of follow along on a journey or anything that is really good as well, because then people feel like they're in it with you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's one of those things where, again, I put off doing any form of trendy stuff for the longest time. I did not want to get involved with that. I did not want to be part of that. Through your influence, I'm starting to look into it. I'm starting to actually like save those sounds. I'm starting to think, okay, how can we deliberately create content that tailors to this, not only for our own, development and our own growth, but also just for the people we're working with. Because at the end of the day, it's not about, realistically, as much as I want to sit here and be like, I want to create the most cinematic, beautiful stuff, this, that, and the other. I want to do proper filmmaking and bring it to this industry. At the end of the day, I have to do what makes sense from a client standpoint, and it's like realistically right now, if I can create a piece of content that does really well on TikTok and, come up with a formula that'll do like multiple hundreds of thousands of engagements on a platform like TikTok, that's a hell of a lot more valuable, and it means a lot more than what I personally want to actually produce, which is in a sense unfortunate, but it's, it's also, I guess, kind of being freeing to be like, okay, let's learn something new. Let's get on to this, trendy side of it, and let's develop that skill set, because it's better to be full rounded and I guess have that experience in both lanes than just stay true to one and be so, I guess, arrogant and oblivious to what's actually going on in the world at the moment.
Yeah. And like, that's the best thing about social media as well. It's always moving forward. There's always something new to learn. And I guess like doing your own thing is great, but you do also have to keep up with the app and the people using it and still staying relatable. Because I feel like with the new trends, people can jump on them, and when they see someone else jump on them and do it, they're like, same. Or like, I guess it's about making content for the everyday person, not necessarily for the big guys up there, like your big branding, like not trying to be above, but trying to be like level and in with everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a good round for having a bit of both, to be honest. Like even when, say, creating work for an average person, I think it's good to have that higher and professional clean stuff a lot of the time, just to, again, have that appeal. But I'm a massive fan of having still content in there that is just more down to earth, more realistic, and more, it just feels like you're a person at the end of the day. Like, you don't want it to seem like everything is this fake, artificial, just made up lie, really. Because I think people they get bored of it and they see through it very quickly. And you want it to still show where who you are, and you still want to have that personal touch and that personal feel. It's
trying to get past the highlight reel, to be honest. I feel like people can, if they can see themselves in something else, they're more likely to jump on board with it, or if they're impressed, but not to the point where it's above, like relatable or too far, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. And from your point of view, as someone who spends a lot of time in social media and does a lot of social media, what are some of the biggest mistakes that you happen to see?
Oh, that's a good one. I guess like,
We've got to.
I don't know. I'm not.
We've cracked the Kimmy.
I don't like sit there and go, oh, you did that really bad or anything like that. I guess is if you're trying to exploit people. People tend to see that and they will call you out on that. Or if you're trying to be someone that you're not, and you've shown that you're not in the past, and trying to like when people call someone out, for example, like if you're going to call someone out and then you get proved wrong and then you try and...
Damn, you went deep with that. I was going like surface level. Like, do you see like where people have like photos that are cut to the wrong beat, or like colors that are slightly
that's annoying,
off, or like captions that don't make sense, or captions that don't exist and stuff like that? Jeez, you went straight to like the heart of the...
Well, like I said, the best thing with social media is you can give it a go. And I'm not about to knock someone down for giving it a go and getting it slightly wrong.
Yeah, but again, there's nothing wrong with pointing something out at the same time. It's like, I will happily, I will say that there are a lot of people who don't spend any time whatsoever on a caption.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is the point in having a caption if you're not going to have
when
one
it's just an emoji.
And it's like, and a lot of people don't have one at all. But then it's like, well, then you wonder why you're not doing anything on social media. It's because you literally just left out half of the post.
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect?
Don't have your finger over the camera as well.
I've done that a couple times. It happens. It happens to the best of us, But at the end of the day, you just got to try, progress, get better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Kimmy, look, I want to say a massive thank you for taking the
That's
time
okay.
to come on. It's been good just to sort of have a bit of a chat, get to know you a little bit more from this side of things. And yeah, just to actually introduce you so people know that, hey, there's a good chance it will be me that you're speaking to on social media, but it could also be Kimmy.
Yes.
It could also be one of the other guys who's jumping in there as well. So be respectful. Be nice in there.
And if you're unsure who you're talking to, just ask. We're happy to tell you. Or we'll probably tell you as well.
Yeah, to be fair, normally we do sort of tag in there who it is actually talking just so we can keep track of things as well. So, but hey, again, thank you for the support even. Like, it's been crazy the amount of people that have been sort of getting in touch both through social media and in person, which is still even crazier. It means the absolute world. We're working on a few big things at the moment. So, like I said, if we haven't done the giveaway yet before this one goes live, make sure you get involved with that. Actually, now I think about it, this will probably go live on Sunday, which will mean that the giveaway is actually happening on Monday, like the actual announcement of it, which would mean that the people who do watch this Sunday morning, you still do have a chance to get in on that one. So,
and it's
go get involved in that. Really awesome products, really awesome brand. Super excited to be partnering up to do this giveaway. So go get yourself some free stuff. Who doesn't like that? Kimmy, once again, thank you for taking the time. Is there anything else you would like to say? Anything else that you think could be helpful for someone who is, maybe looking to grow a social media presence or looking to create more engaging content for social media?
Don't be scared. Don't be scared to jump on. Don't be scared to just throw yourself out there. If you need a little bit of help, hit us up. But yeah, just keep going. Don't let the fear of someone putting you down deter you. Just, put yourself out there and people will genuinely love you. And if they don't, they can just unfollow you. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I think that's actually another thing that happens a lot that people get caught up on, myself included, which is we see the number going up, and then as soon as the number drops a little bit, we take it really personally and it hurts a lot. At the end of the day, I think one of my friends pointed this out to me, and like, it's a really good way to look at it. It's like, perhaps the reason that someone actually did just click that unfollow is because they just weren't ready for the content that you're putting out at the moment. And I've had to do it myself, where there's a lot of times where I'll follow someone and then I see their stuff coming up, and it makes me feel a certain way, or it makes me think a certain thing. And it's nothing against them. It's nothing against the content. It's just that at the moment, I can't be looking at that because it's going to trigger a response myself. So don't take it personally. It's like, at the end of the day, they followed you for a reason. They unfollowed you for a reason. And if they keep seeing your content and there's a good reason to follow you again, they will. You know, and it's like, even if someone does unfollow you, it means that they know who you are. And that's the main thing, because it means like they have the ability now to come back at a later date and redo it. Yeah.
Well, it's even just in, like, I've learned in my psychology degree, is half the time people's responses aren't about you, it's about them and how they internalize things. So if they do have to unfollow you, it could just be because they have a past trauma or past trigger, or even just the mental state that they're in now. It's got nothing to do with you either. Like, their reaction is based on them, not you.
Yeah, true. So at the end of the day, it's like, at the end of the day, that's 100% correct. Even thinking about myself now, it's like, realistically, it was nothing that they did. They were just doing their thing. And it was something completely myself that caused me to do that, because at that point in time, it just wasn't the best thing. It's a good way to look at it. Thank you, Kimmy. Awesome. Well, thank you for watching the episode. If you do have any questions for myself or Kimmy, please feel free to leave them down below, or just drop us a DM. We're always happy to have a bit of a chat. Outside of that, though, thank you once again. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we're out.
Hey, hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did find something useful, please do share it with someone else you think could find it useful as well. If you're over on Spotify, please do leave a review as well. If you're over on YouTube, consider dropping a subscribe, a like, a comment, and all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.